One of the biggest skills that PhD students lack is the ability to write for a general audience. I found this out when I was heading into my first career after my PhD and my time in academia, which was a science communicator. I actually got an internship at Cosmos magazine in Melbourne in Australia, and I entered a whole new world where I realized academia did not prepare me at all for this new way of communicating about research. I'm just gonna sneeze. Spring is coming. So I entered this internship literally knowing almost zero about how to communicate effectively. Luckily, I had an incredible mentor, April Reese, who talked me through the bare bones of communicating science to a general audience. And what I did is I created a cheat sheet for myself, which I actually used to earn hundreds of dollars writing about science, maybe thousands of dollars. Let's go with that one. That one sounds more impressive, doesn't it? But I earned a lot of money with this cheat sheet, and now it is yours. So this is a little cheat sheet I made for myself where I essentially looked for the background information, the problem the science was addressing, the main conclusions, the methods, the numbered results, which is important when you're communicating the specifics, limitations and future direction, and any quotes that I could grab. Then I actually went to about 20 popular science articles, and I sort of stripped them down to their bare bones, and I looked in each paragraph what each paragraph was actually trying to communicate. And then I created this cheat sheet once I had all the information about how to turn that information into a structured science article. So here it is. You've got a headline, and here I sort of, you know, keep it short and snazzy. Optional sub-headline. Then you've got the lead, which is the kind of bigger picture. So half a sentence, big picture, half a sentence problem, one sentence about a discovery. So here it was all about the big sort of hard-hitting information, nothing about the details, and then reference to paper, problem and background. So I went down this column and then this column, and you can get this for free. I'll put a link in the description, but essentially this is how I trained myself, and this is the cheat sheet that I used for communicating my research to a general public audience. Now the thing is that during our PhD we are trained only in how to sort of communicate to very, very academic audiences, and that really hurts us when we're looking for jobs outside of any sort of academia role. And it certainly is something that you should consider, because most people after their PhD and after their research years, they end up going into a job that does not require the hardcore academic stuff. Sure, there's probably some technical writing things, but you are normally communicating to key stakeholders who have nothing to do with science, and learning how to write about your research in a really sort of succinct and general audience sort of optimized way will absolutely help you in your future career, and it's something that PhD students are not taught about, so you have to go learn yourself. This video is brought to you by my newsletter. Go check it out at andrewstapleton.com.au/newsletter. The link is in the description. When you sign up, you'll get 5 emails over about 2 weeks. Everything from the tools I use, the podcasts I've been on, how to write the perfect abstract, and more. It's exclusive content, only available for free, so go sign up now. I feel like another skill that PhD students commonly lack is effective networking skills. Now we are going here far beyond just going to a big old open room where there's loads of people milling around with drinks and finger food and chatting. It is now a 2 sort of step process. Firstly, there needs to be awareness. You need to build awareness about you, what you're doing, what you're passionate about. And then secondly, you need to be able to control the narrative about your professional career. And these days, look at me, old granddad, these days, young whippersnapper, we have the online environment to be able to control our own personal and professional brands. So, first of all, awareness, getting out, going, speaking to people, reaching out to people online, on social media, going to professional networking events. All these are still absolutely valid, but it is only the first point in effective networking. The second thing you need to do is control your online profile to the point where if you sort of like arouse enough interest in someone that when they come to your profile, they're like, oh, I'm actually very impressed with this. Now, I actually gave a talk in 2020 to the Center for Biophotonics and Electronics, I think it was called, and it was all about controlling that online narrative, and importantly, it was mainly about using LinkedIn to reach out to people. So first touch point, awareness, hello, this is me, and then when they look at your profile, that is when you've got an opportunity to put your best foot forward. I actually sent this to a friend of mine, and they got 2 jobs because they followed the steps that were in this presentation. And another good thing, I'm going to give this presentation to you for free. Link is in the description below, so you can optimize your online presence on LinkedIn so that when you're ready for that networking, you are confident that if people search for you on that platform, you are going to be putting your best foot forward. So let's have a quick little look at it. This was the presentation that I gave. Look, I'm not going to go through it completely, but ultimately, what we were looking for is breaking down people's different types of LinkedIn profiles so that they could really understand what makes a good sort of like second touch point to that networking effort. So here we are, the foundations. We're talking about making sure that you've got a good banner image. This is one that I did for a science friend of mine, and essentially going through different parts of the LinkedIn profile. So the headline, what you want to achieve, you know, it's just about stepping you through each part of a really efficient LinkedIn profile so that when you are networking, people know exactly what you do, who you help, and what they should do to reach out to you. So if we go all the way down here, you know, in the About section, I've split up into the background, the problem you solve, the solutions and skills that you bring, and a call to action. So all of these are available to you on this PowerPoint. I'll put a link to that in the description below, so you can go away and optimize your LinkedIn profile so that when you are networking, you will feel confident. Another skill that I think PhD students lack is not presentation skills. Now we hear this quite a lot, and I get sort of a lot of questions about presentation skills and giving talks. I'm giving one in Sydney in a couple of weeks' time about how to present your research. But importantly, I feel like PhD students are generally much better at giving presentations than their supervisors. And this may be a hot take, but when I sort of go to a talk, if it's an old professor, I know that I'm in for a world of pain. Generally, they are the worst speakers because they've managed to get to their position without having to perfect these presentation skills. PhD students and younger academics are often much better at presenting. So I feel like to say that they need to improve their presentation skills is a bit wrong. But where they do sort of like miss out on a certain subset of skills within presentation is that they do not know how to adapt their presentation for different audiences. I used to go to this thing called Science in the Pub, and all they did was take their sort of normal lectures, normal sort of presentations, and put them in a pub, and it kind of worked and it kind of didn't. And that was because the academics did not sort of put any of the entertainment or the general audience kind of twist on their presentations. You know, it was still death by PowerPoint in a lot of ways. I actually really recommend to any PhD students that are struggling with that concept to join their local Toastmasters club. I have seen people turn from nervous speakers to really confident speakers that don't need death by PowerPoint. They don't need anything. They understand the process of engaging with an audience through just creating a narrative, leading people through a certain story. You know, all of that's really important if you do want to engage afterwards, either in an industry position, continue in academia, or just change careers altogether. All of these skills are so important, and I think it is something that PhD students do not have enough time for. And you know, fair enough, they're very busy people. But if you can, try to develop these skills alongside your academic skills as you're a PhD student and as you're growing as a researcher. And I can assure you that not only will they pay off in academia, they will pay off in the grand sort of the grand scheme of things, in the big wide world as well. So there we have it. There are the 3 biggest skills that I think PhD students lack when they're doing their PhD and when they get kicked out the other end as graduates. Let me know in the comments what you would add to that. What skills have you learned since your PhD, or that you feel like you're lacking during your PhD, that you want to build up, that you feel will help you in the future? Let me know in the comments. And also go check out academiainsider.com. That's my project where I've got my ebooks, the Ultimate Academic Writing Toolkit, as well as the PhD Survival Guide. I've also got my insider forum there, and I'll see you in the next video.